Hi guys, so today we're going to talk about mobile phones, and here as you can see we have a iPhone 4, but more on this later. With me I have Tian He from Hardware Zone and Hardware Mac, and today we're going to have a short discussion about mobile phones and the choices available for consumers. So Tian He, maybe you can run us through the various platforms that are currently available for consumers now.
Currently, besides the iPhone 4 and iOS 4, for mobile enthusiasts you can actually choose from Google Android, Windows Phone 7, which will be coming up later this year, and also the BlackBerry platforms. Besides all these platforms by itself, right, I guess the more important question is, do you want to have a choice when it comes to a platform, or do you wish to just conform to the iPhone 4 as it is?
Let's talk a bit about the history of these platforms. I mean, BlackBerry has been around for many years, in fact.
Quite a number of years.
Same for Windows Mobile.
They have been moving on from 2000 onwards, and the current iteration is Windows Mobile 6.5. But by the third quarter of this year, or to the fourth quarter, we'll be looking at Windows Phone 7, a total revamp of the whole Windows Mobile platform. As for Android, it has been around for two years. And during this 2-year period, we have seen it growing from the earliest version to 1.5, 1.6, and currently right now it's on Android 2.1. And the future one that will be coming out is Android 2.2, also codenamed Froyo.
So with that much platforms for consumers to choose from, at the end of the day, what does it mean for consumers?
Well, I would say choice. It's all about whether you wish to actually have a variety to choose from, to look at your design, your brand loyalty, and maybe budget. I think budget is the most important question here for consumers.
Okay, so let's have a timeline. The first smartphone, or so-called smartphone, to come out is Windows Mobile. Am I right? And then followed by the BlackBerry.
Well, technically, the BlackBerry just came out earlier.
Okay.
But it was more for business users.
Okay. So BlackBerry, Windows Mobile, and then the iPhone, of course.
Yes, that's right.
And then Android.
Android.
Okay. So for consumers, right? We talk about budget. And
Yes.
for what about hardware? For iPhone users, they're stuck with basically one iPhone a year to choose from.
Yes.
So what about the other platforms?
Well, if you look at the other platforms, as we said, there is a variety. Just looking at the hardware itself, you have entry-level models that actually run on a lower processor and a smaller screen, but the budget itself is much more affordable for users. You have the mid-range devices, which will do most of the features of what a high-end smartphone does, but you will have probably less features to work with. And finally, the high-end ones, which will match up to the iPhone's specifications in terms of processing speed, screen size, resolution, and even the camera. Let's just start from the top to the higher-end models for the Google Android. What you have here is a Samsung Galaxy S. Now, the Galaxy S is also using a 1 GHz processor, which is similar to the iPhone 4. And screen size-wise, it definitely has a larger screen compared to the iPhone 4. This measures in at 4-inch, whereas the iPhone 4 is 3.5. But you're looking at the resolution, this will be 800 by 480, whereas the iPhone 4 has a higher resolution due to the Retina display.
Most important thing that a lot of users want to know is what about applications? What about
Okay.
across the various platforms? What are our application choices?
For Android, you have the Google Marketplace. Now, that has a huge variety of apps for you to look out for, but as it is in Singapore right now, what you get are mostly free apps because the paid applications are still not available in Singapore. However, there are alternatives for you to get around that and download a third-party app to get more paid applications on Android market. Whereas for iPhone, you have iTunes Store, and as you can see, the numbers are huge over the past few years.
What about BlackBerry? Do they have a larger choice of applications, or is the marketplace a bit smaller?
Well, we can say that it is a more niche market for users. For that, we have the BlackBerry App World. Now, the BlackBerry App World does have a variety, but you wouldn't see as many apps as you see on the Google Android market or the iTunes Store.
Okay.
Whereas for Windows itself, currently Windows Mobile 6.5 does have a huge variety of apps also, but in terms of pickup rate, we wouldn't see that much, and we will reserve our comments for it until Windows Phone 7 comes out.
Let's say I'm looking to buy a handphone. Am I better off now than compared to, say, 3 years ago?
Well, definitely much better because you have so much better hardware technology, you have much more choices, and you have better players in the market, and most importantly, apps. Apps will definitely change how you look at the mobile market.
Okay.